All right, welcome back. Welcome to day 12. I am not gonna lie. I did go to bed and kind of wanted to stay in bed, but I think I'm doing pretty good with willpower right now, even though it's only 12 days, but still, that is a lot of days in a row. Out of going from 0 days in a row to 12 days in a row. So I'm proud of myself for getting back up and making sure that I was here. So today I'm going to try to keep it simple and get back to my reading, but we'll see. It's Friday, and I am ready for the weekend. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, I'm still streaming over the weekend, but just having the a little bit of time to rest and recover. So, with that being said, let's see. Oh, so for a minute now, I thought that my PC was out of commission. And today I realized that even though it has a lot of damage, it's actually still working. So that just changed the game. Because I am streaming from like my MacBook, which I prefer to do my coding streams from my MacBook in general because I don't like, trying to do my development work on Windows when literally the only reason I was doing my any dev work on Windows was because that's how my live stream was set up, to stream from my PC. But now I have gotten the MacBook streaming down pretty much for the coding. But when it comes to like anything other than that, yeah, it's really nice to have the PC because like I have other setup equipment and stuff that only works on PC, and including like all of my game streaming was all basically designed to be done from my gaming computer. So anyways, I'm so happy about that, bro. I was like, that just made my whole week. Just being able to realize, like, okay, I have some other streaming options, and just because I am now getting into trying to work on some more produced videos as well, and get a little bit more control over the live stream. So we'll see, because I'm curious as to whether I could do like a dual setup, or um, maybe just have alternate setups depending on what kind of stream I want to do. And overall, just kind of being like, you know what? If nothing else, I have my PC back for gaming because I have a PS5, which is not even set up yet. Um, and so I usually game on consoles, but after I got my PC, like in about 2018, I think, um, I got, I opened myself up more to PC gaming. So there's certain things that I literally just cannot play or could not play because my PC was out of commission. So I'm excited about that. So that's what I'm gonna be spending my weekend on, outside of just kind of getting some rest and recovering. So I ain't gonna lie, like as soon as I get done tonight, I might just because I already kind of sort of hooked it up. It's not how I want it to be, but it's to the point where I can literally turn it on and swap over the monitor, and just get to gaming. So I'm excited. I know for I don't know how many like OGs on the Twitch stream actually used to watch back when I first started streaming, because of course like I first started streaming games on Twitch like pretty much everybody else. And I do still like to do that from time to time, but it when I started trying to do it earlier this year, like when Hogwarts Legacy came on and everything, it was okay, but the quality wasn't really good. The stream quality wasn't as good as I'm used to, and then I don't have as much control over it because I had other equipment that helps me, actually like production equipment that helped me run my stream. So yeah, that was just like the tiniest but biggest win of the week for me out of nowhere. Um, that's also, I've been wanting to do some GTA RP for a long time. Um, and I was like, well, I'm not about to try to join a server until I get, myself set up. So, um, let's see, yesterday's progress. What was I learning about yesterday? Um, let's see. Oh, so yesterday we saw examples of the image segmentation. Oh, object detection. I should just call it object detection, sentiment analysis. And then the tabular data was used for a recommendation system. I'm just gonna say a recommendation system. All right, so I guess my thoughts on today are. Sorry, I got a band-aid on my finger, and I can't like 3-finger swipe on my on my trackpad. That's annoying. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I want to write for the thoughts. Yesterday I was saying that those additional examples that I came across, I could Hey Soupsa, welcome in. How's it going? I'm doing well for sure. Um, let's see. In addition to the image recognition, the way I said I was going to do it is like a few of the examples, I'm just going to adapt them over to another data set. And then so for example, object detection. And recommendation system. I'm just gonna adapt those examples, if I kind of break it up like this. Let's see. Mini, more like a lab. Call it a lab. This is more like a little lab, and then the next level would be a mini project. Wait, how do I want to do it? So you got those. The next level from object detection and recommendation would be probably the image recognizer. And then a bigger project would be the sentiment analysis, because the way I'm thinking about those is these, I'll just adapt the examples. This one I will adapt the example, but also try to come up with my own data for the project. This one would be creating and training the model on I don't even know what kind of data I'm gonna use yet to adapt it to Twitch chat, but training and analyzing the data, but also deploying the model and using the model like inside of a bigger project, right? So the model has to be deployed, and then I have to use some type of Twitch API integration to give feedback, like give a visual feedback about the sentiment of the Twitch chat, right? So it's layers to that one. So I'm not necessarily going to try to do that for every example, but I think this is one of my projects that's on my list. So that's how I'm thinking about breaking those out. And it might be another one that I'm missing right now, because I feel like I wrote down yesterday image classifier, object detection, sentiment analysis, and I wrote down recommendation system. I feel like it was another one that was in there, but I can come back to that. So there we go. Real simple. Command save. But yeah, finding out that my PC was like alive, that really meant a lot to me. I'm a techie person anyway, so I like all my gear and stuff. That's like, I don't know, outside, like I stream and I teach and stuff like that, but like outside of that, like this is like a hobby for me too. So I'm so happy my PC is back online. It had been like over a year since I was on my PC. So today I was just like updating drivers, and I need to go through. Oh shoot, I just realized something. I'm trusting my whole stream. It's how I'm trusting my whole stream to Wi-Fi right now, y'all. That is not a good idea. I forgot that I had swapped my Ethernet over to to my PC. But yeah, I have like a lot of old data on my PC that was like stream VODs and all that other kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff I'm probably going to go through there. The other thing that I just remembered, I thought I had lost a lot of projects that I hadn't committed to GitHub, including the StreamBot, and that was also the other big win, because there's like my StreamBot code is still on my PC, and like a whole bunch of other projects that I was working on for my last 100 days and everything. All my basically everything from my old live code streams is on there. So I'm gonna get the bot back running. I really was not looking forward to doing that from scratch because I couldn't even remember the different commands and stuff that I had. So I did learn a lesson, of course. So I'm going to be working on getting that code that's on my PC pushed to GitHub and then cloned onto my MacBook, so I can get the stream bot running again and do some integrations too. So the sentiment analysis project would integrate with our chat, right? So there's that. There's some other things that I wanted to build out as well. So I've been doing my best with Notion throughout the past couple of months, especially to keep those projects highlighted. So the chat bot, which is called the Nursery bot, is coming back. And then this is going to be an integration with the bot. And then there's something else in here. Well, I guess it's just some of the new features I have been thinking about adding to, like having pomodoros in the chat, goals. This already exists in the bot. So like if you have resources, when I get the bot back running, I have a channel that those resources automatically post. Like we can post them in the Twitch chat and then they automatically send to GitHub. And the fun part will be integrating with the YouTube chat, because I don't have anything that is integrated there yet. Wow. I didn't even. Oh, I'm disappointed in myself, but it's okay. I'm moving so fast and so slow at the same time. I did a status. I added. My commit is gonna be a day off, but it's okay. I do like trying to do pomodoros as much as I can, especially in this type of situation where it helps me stay focused. I'm not too focused, honestly. Y'all know I be getting a little distracted, but it does, like, it's a visual reminder for me, more so than anything else. And over time, the fact of having to take breaks is really helpful for me, because I think I have I'm more of the mindset where I'll keep reading stuff and keep trying to hammer something, even though I'm probably like I probably clocked out a long time ago. So I like it. But I do want to experiment with different timings, because 25 minutes is like standard, but there's other ways you can do it. And plus it's really up to what works for you, right? So I can't complain. My main thing is actually getting used to constantly or being active and actually running my pomodoros. Yeah, everything I do is not extra credit nowadays though, because this is like what I mostly do is teach. So there's a lot of value in teaching, but at the same time, when you teach the same material over and over again, it's like my personal growth is definitely stunted, so to speak. So yeah, this is like, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing on stream right now, I would not be learning anything new in general for the most part. I do get what you're saying though with the above and beyond thing. Like if I don't invest this time, then nothing changes about my skill set basically. Now to me, the above and beyond part is not the actual learning, it's the fact that I'm live streaming this every single day, because that has a huge layer of but it's important to me. The learning journey and actually documenting my journey are I would say relatively equal honestly at this point in time. So yeah. It's so funny because it's like when I'm gonna start my timer too. When I started out on Twitch, we didn't even have our own category for software. Actually, the software development category came out while I was on hiatus. Um, so like back when I used to do any type of coding streams originally, before I even thought that this would be something that I did as like my main types of streams, we just had the science and technology category. And then it kind of blew up over, I think over the pandemic. That's when like the live coding stuff blew up. You don't hear anything, Preacher? Wait, what happened? Y'all can't hear me? Mm. All right, let me see now because I'm not sure it's actually, I think it's Twitch. I swear this is like the first time where I can honestly say it's freaking Twitch, because this happens to me sometimes and I'm like, why? Because yeah, try to refresh. I'm about to see how does it sound to me on Twitch too, because it sounds completely normal on YouTube. All right, and let me see how it is now. I can't play that on my computer right now though.
I swear this is like the first time where I can honestly say it's
That's Twitch, bro. That's Twitch. That's Twitch all day long. That's Twitch all freaking day long. Okay, let's see. Good. It's good now. Okay. And all right, let's put the voice. Let's put the music back. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna go back and look at the YouTube one just to see afterwards, but because the same part that you just had in the clip is not how it sounds on the YouTube stream, and they're going out, simultaneously through Streamlabs. All right, let's try. Oh, that's fixed. Okay, perfect. And then what was I gonna say? I went right, exactly. The little high pitched voice. Um Honestly, some of that stuff is like, or I mean, if I was doing that intentionally, that's the kind of stuff I literally can't do right now the way my life is set up, because all my stream setup was completely like PC based. So I'm glad my PC is is still alive and well. There's some repairs I have to make to it, but nothing that's stopping me from using it right now. So heck yeah. But thank y'all for letting me know too, because I don't know how that was supposed to be working out. Um, and I wish I could. I'm scared to do this. I'm gonna stop my Wi-Fi, and hopefully that doesn't disconnect me. It shouldn't, but it'd be weird sometimes, cause my Ethernet is actually connected. See, Wi-Fi. But yes, Free Joe, welcome in. Hello, happy day 12. Well, it's technically going into 13 now, but when I showed up, it was day 12. Mm, 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 mm. That's the Wi-Fi connection. Here's the network. USB. Okay, I'm gonna. Hopefully, this does not break my stream. Well, let's refresh this page too. All right. I swapped off my Wi-Fi. It's gonna take a second, I think, to kind of adjust. All right, I'm not seeing any errors coming. I'm just trying to check and see at least. Okay. Analytics. Posts. All right, so I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best, y'all. Let me know if anything kind of drops off. Okay. Because the best thing I can do to kind of keep an idea of what's going on is YouTube actually shows me like what the condition of my connection is. So it went from poor to excellent. Pretty sure that's because of the Wi-Fi too. It's really interesting to me though. Maybe it's a way I can force the priority. Oh, well, I guess it's my fault, huh? I didn't have Wi-Fi connected. I mean, I didn't have Ethernet connected at first, but I need a way to force priority even when I'm not connected to, or even when I have both of them connected. Sometimes it defaults to my Wi-Fi connection, even though my Wi-Fi connection is way slower. Talking about welcome to the chat room. Okay, I'm back. Oh, my last message didn't even go through. Okay, well, I think I'm back now. What's up with my... Oh my god. I'll refresh my chat. That's annoying. Working on some stuff. Okay. I can see chat again. What the heck? I am going to be moving over to OBS. It be like that. Yes, I don't even understand what's going on with my chat box right now. Let me see. Can I refresh it? Yeah, OBS is preferred, but a lot of trying to do a million things at once is also a lot more complicated. So I have liked using Streamlabs OBS for the past 5 years, mostly, but I think it'll improve my stream quality, but it's obviously like a million times more. I'm not gonna say a million, but it's significantly more involved. But I don't like how stuff gets out of sync and it's just kind of confusing. Like, I don't know why my chat box doesn't want to work now, but you know. I don't think I can refresh that. Refresh cache. Close. Okay, there we go. Chat's back. Chat's back. Preacher, did you change your Twitch name color? Yeah, I can carry over overlays, but like because I also use Streamlabs for like alerts and all that other kind of stuff. It's a lot of stuff I have to set up, but it's fine. I know what I'm doing now, so I feel confident to set OBS up. It's just that it's daunting. Because it's just one of many other things that needs to get updated. It always changes? Is it random? I mean, I notice it changing from time to time, but like it was literally just another color, and then when I refreshed my chat, now it's orange. It's random. Oh, okay. I didn't even know you could do that. I had no idea you could do that. Oh, interesting. So I found an Easter egg. Should be working on some code related papers. What kind of things are you trying to work on, Preacher? Have you written some papers before? I feel like you talked about that already, but I could be just blanking. I'm interested to learn more about how that process goes. Um, it's a lot of things I'm still learning right now, just like overall high level concepts, you know. I would definitely be interested in reading whatever you come up with for coding and community building. Like I said, I think I was saying it yesterday, like every new paper or like new concept is opening my mind a lot more to what the possibilities are, and of course even what the possibilities I mean, I guess you could say like there's the things you can do that have been done before, and then at some point there's the things that nobody has necessarily done. And I think it's just interesting to me right now to understand like all the different work that's being done, and then where like I can possibly fit in. That also reminds me, I have a former like instructor slash co-worker slash mentor that I definitely need to reach out to as well. I mean, it's probably a lot of people I could reach out to, but I am grateful that I have quite a few people that have like research experience, PhDs, all that kind of stuff, because I feel like a complete noob. I ain't gonna lie, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I'm grateful that I know I have people I can ask questions to and stuff. That's really, 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 that's so helpful. Oh yeah, the Dev Book Club would be a good spot for readings. I've been kind of sort of posting papers like um yeah, you can post articles and stuff. And if there's like a way to break some of the categories down, let me know, because the reading club can probably just be books and papers. That probably makes sense, you know. But I'm just like breaking some categories up, combining some with the server. So if anything, yeah, if anything seems like it could kind of go a little bit of a different way, I'm open to that feedback for sure. Send me stuff like that in Discord so I would remember to work on it after the stream. But um I have read probably 2 or 3 papers this month, which is not as many as I want, but it's still a good start. I feel like there was one I wanted to try. It was a more of like a case study, I guess. When they, I think we talked about it before already. When they were testing if you can assign personality types to chat, like Chat GPT. Um, it was Chat GPT in particular, and how it would behave, how it would respond, and if its responses would be like consistent with the behavior that you would quote unquote expect from like a certain personality type. And I think that was successful, relatively successful, but it was like a very basic version of it was a very basic version of testing. So that was a fun like experiment I feel like I wanted to do. But just reading that also gave me some ideas about model training that I have in mind in particular. Doing research and screwing up the system. Yeah, I like the idea too. Like, you know, I, I understand that research is like traditionally um like an academia thing, and I have no problem with that, but I also don't feel like that is um a blocker for me to start doing my own thing anyway. So, yeah. I absolutely plan on doing like some of my own projects before I ever go and, you know, get into a PhD program overall. And then I do have, you know, like some connections to professors that have labs, but yeah, I'm probably very similar. The whole like screwing up the system, maybe. I don't know. I won't say screwing up the system, but I don't like to be restrained by the quote unquote typical way that you're supposed to do everything. If you get enough publications beforehand, it helps. That makes sense. I feel like there's a level of like the scientist side of computer science that we don't explore as much in like the software engineering realm. We do to an extent, but it's more about like, instead of like learning and seeing what's possible, a lot of times it's more about the output and finding a solution. So yeah, I really enjoy the like going back to that idea of the scientific method and running experiments and seeing what, what's possible. um I have this vision of a community research lab. And when I think about like the end game for me, that would be like the ultimate, not just like studying and doing my own thing or contributing, to somebody else's lab, but like having a way to open up that process, like here in my community, having people understand more about what research even is, and like actually participating in it, actually learning about it, and the using that research to like improve the community. So now I'm talking like, I don't know, now I'm talking like socioeconomic like issues and accessibility overall and equity and all that good stuff. Um, because that's the one thing that bothers me. That's another reason why I care a lot about actually going into academia as a teacher, because it's just, it could be done so much differently. Like I hate the idea that let's see. I hate the idea that you can go into a program and it's a competition instead of it being, everybody in there to try to achieve a goal. Is, oh well, some universities are like, it's everything's on the curve. So if everybody got an A, everybody didn't get an A. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Or like university setting. Um we have weeder classes, and weeder classes are supposed to get rid of people. So when your weeder classes literally only like a small percentage of your students can pass them, you feel like you're doing a good job. That don't make no type of sense to me. uh Critical code studies. Okay, yeah. One of the first things I see when I come on here is like a reading group. I have been hoping to find a reading group. The application, critical code studies, is the application of the hermeneutics. how do I even say that one? Hermeneutics of the humanities to the interpretation of the extra functional. Oh my God, why is it such a mouthful? Okay, here's the about. So y'all don't gotta hear me butcher it, because I think I'm pretty good at reading. I ain't gonna lie. I think I'm like an A plus reader, but um here, let's do this real quick, because I think the whole description can't even show on screen chat. Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. All right, so we have more stuff to dig into. So, how did you find out about this critical code studies, Bridget? All right, so well, I guess I'm not done with that part yet. Can I close any of these? Can I close this one? Yeah. I don't think I can close this shit. Wait, maybe I can. No, that's the end of everything. Okay. Everything else is closed though. Oh, let me do this too while we were talking about putting stuff in Discord. I'm very interested in the code driven world design, I guess, that you were talking about before. What's DSLS? SOLANGS. What does that stand for? Not DSL. Oh, the domain specific languages. Okay. Not Oh no. Okay, I didn't even mean to. Oh Lord. Okay. Well, that's what happens when you Google that. Not what I was supposed to be finding. So we just gonna move on. Domain specific languages. I read that part. Okay, so if you're looking at time series data, choosing a random subset will be both too easy and not representative of most business cases. Okay. So just like talking about the concept of using a method other than randomization to break up your data sets. From training and validation or training, validation, and test. So this example is basically like time series data. If you just take a random subset, it's easier to fill in the gaps, right? Because you pretty much can see all the trends in the data even visually. Then if you take time series, right? So if you take the newer set of data, a continuous set of the new data, and use that as a test set, especially in this case, you should be learning from the old data in order to do future predictions. So chop off the data set at some range that takes the newest portion of data and sets that aside. So now here's the original data set. This is going to, or here we can do it this way, like this portion, it's kind of weird, but pretty much like the left portion of the data would be for training, the right portion of the data would be for evaluation. I've never built a language from scratch. That's been an idea of a project that it's like maybe I would do something like very, very, very simple. I think even since I'm going back to school, I probably will come across an example like that anyway. Um, to possibly get into. I can't say it's my personal area of interest, but I do find it interesting, at least enough to want to try it like at least once. Something basic, something real simple. There are languages that help you build languages quickly. Oh, okay, yeah. So, see, you got all the info. Okay, so that's something I would be interested in then Like if there's already some like existing tools I can use to make it a little bit more straightforward of a process, I guess. Yeah, please share those. I think I'll probably. I'm gonna. Where's Discord? Hold on. Should we have a Just Research channel? Oh, every time I try to turn, I don't know why my computer do not like messing with Discord. Here, let me do it this way. From my phone. Oh, okay. It's in the book club. Okay, that works. That works. Yeah, I don't care if you plug stuff for yourself, preacher, do that, please, because absolutely. Um, but yeah, I do appreciate the resources because oh my goodness. It's a lot to get into, and I feel like you said, like doing stuff that's not necessarily has like an institutional backing. I feel like that opens up the doors a lot, which is pretty much my lot in life to uh, open up opportunities to people in like the quote unquote non-traditional setting for it. That's why I was saying, like, when I imagine like having a community research lab, it's like, yeah, top tier research, but also people from the local community. And I mean, I live in Detroit. I'm from Detroit, so that's what I think about, like people being able to come and participate in studies, people being able to see like how research can work overall, and then like people being able to participate, and then the research that's done being able to contribute back to like improvements to the community overall. Okay, so I finally finished this section right here. That was my second poem, and I'm just gonna go. Can I close this whole thing? Yeah. I'm at the end. Yes. Okay. That gives me some hope. Okay, so if you would like to learn more about how to use deep learning models in practice, including how to identify and fix errors, create real world application, and avoid your model causing unexpected harm, go to the next two chapters. If you would like to start learning the foundations of how deep learning works under the hood, go to the MNIST basics. Okay. Escape. Some of the doors it opens up in some areas that don't see coders. Yeah. I mean, there's still so much potential, right, for like you said, kind of going into another realm or another discipline, another industry, another um, problem space, and bringing like the knowledge and tools that we have. Okay, so I'm going to just go all the way straight through the book, even though it sounds great to go straight to under the hood deep learning. But they're going to use MNIST. That's going to be like probably more so start to get into like probably at that point you will start learning about like gradient descent and a little bit more about the overall training. But we are going to deployment next because that is extremely important to me. And like I said, I have those few projects that I want to work on. These projects right here are pretty much the main ones that I'm going to work on. So once I get done with deployment, I guess these examples are probably ones that I don't really need deployment for, but I definitely need deployment for my sentiment analysis project. So we gonna just kind of lean into that. Okay, and then this is the review. So I'm just gonna read through all these questions. I'm not gonna try to answer them right now, but let's see. This is my last skip. This is my last poem for tonight. Do you need these for deep learning? Lots of math. False. Lots of data. False. Lots of expensive computers. False. Basically everything here is false, but okay. 5 areas where deep learning is now the best in the world. So that's like specific examples that they showed us. Those are basically all the code examples they showed us were referring to now the state of the art like training method for whatever that particular space is. And then what was the name of the first device that was based on the principle of the artificial neuron? That's I'm not supposed to be answering questions now, but that's the automaton or the perceptron. I took notes, so you know I can just look at my notes. Hopefully. Let me go back to the beginning. I think the perceptron was first though, right? Yeah, the first device to use neuron learning principles. was the Perceptron, the Mark 1 Perceptron. Based on the book of the same name, what are the requirements for parallel distributed processing? Okay, so with parallel distributed processing, you need a set of processing units, a state of activation, an output function for each unit, a pattern of connectivity among the units, and a propagation rule to propagate the patterns of activities through the network of connectivities. All right. So I feel like my notes will get me through a lot of this, and then otherwise I'll be able to review. So, what were the two theoretical misunderstandings that held back the field? Okay, so the first misunderstanding was, it's like people were using just they saw that when you use one neural network or one layer neural network, um that was a limitation, but then the misunderstanding was like, yes, one layer is not enough, but you can just add one layers. So once people finally started actually adding additional layers, that was improved. But then I feel like the next phase, it was the phase where there was only one layer. And I kind of feel like it was a phase where there was only two layers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. Um, just looking through my notes because I remember reading about this, but I don't remember. Oh, here's one. So with perceptrons, I said that was a 1969 paper. It showed that one layer struggles, but more layers fix this limitation. But people focused on the limitations of one layer for almost 2 decades before realizing, oh yeah, they were trying to tell us in the first place that we can use multiple layers, and that removes that limitation altogether. So that was the one that I was thinking about. And then after the automaton essay, no, this is the future, a frontier of automation. Okay, so I'll go back on that one. What is a GPU? GPU is a graphics card, but um, a lot of the work that's done by a GPU can be it's similar to what is done in deep learning. So usually you use GPUs to train your data sets. Escape. Um, if I execute 1 + 1, then it's gonna be 2. It's gonna show a little spin next to it while it's running, and then underneath it, I'm gonna see the output, which is 2. Follow through each cell of the stripped version of the notebook. Okay, this is a review tactic right here. So they have stripped down versions of the notebooks. If anybody kind of missed that point, so they recommend to go through, and they call it out here, like go through the notebook and try to predict what's going to happen based off of the experience we already have going through all the materials. So I think I did a good job of reviewing the code as I was going along and trying to understand it. So that'll be one thing that I do later on as a review. Complete the Jupyter Notebook online appendix. Okay. Why is it hard to use a traditional computer program to recognize images in a photo? I mean, the main thing about traditional computer programs is like we have to actually essentially code for all our different situations instead of using a machine learning program, which would allow the computer to learn from the data directly. When Samuel talked about weight assignments, the weight assignments were really more so what we call parameters nowadays. The definition, I guess that's really the answer here. What term do we normally use in deep learning for what Samuel called weights? He called weights. We call them parameters now, rather than that's not the same term for what we use now when we say weights. Weight assignment. Weight assignment are particular values for your weights, basically. So weights were the variables, and weight assignment was assigning specific values to those variables. So that's what we actually consider to be parameters nowadays. The picture that summarizes the view of the machine learning model, I have the picture, but you have inputs and weights. Those feed into the model. Then from the model, you output results, and then from there, performance. And then you use the performance to go back and update the weights. That's the machine learning model, I think. Why is it hard to understand why a deep learning model makes a particular prediction? What is the name of the theorem that shows that a neural network can solve any mathematical problem to any level of accuracy? Um, is that one? I think that's the universal. That's the universal approximation theorem. I could be wrong, but that is the only theorem I actually took notes on, but I didn't really describe it directly. Thanks, Soupsa. You have a good night as well. This is my last run, so you see, when this timer is up, I'm done for the night. But thank you, and thank you for being here and supporting the process. Y'all know where to find me every day. Why is it hard to understand? Oh, I read that one. I read this one. Pretty sure this is universal approximation theorem. What do you need in order to train a model? Data. More than anything else. How could a feedback loop impact the rollout of a predictive policing model? Oh, here's where I wrote down. Universal approximation theorem is the mathematical proof showing that the neural network function can solve any problem to any level of accuracy. Do we always have to use a 224 by 224 pixel image? You don't have to do this anymore. That was a practice, but I mean, it makes it more efficient to train it, but you don't have to. This used to actually be like the main way that you could do the image recognition training. What's the difference between classification and regression? Classification is like there's a preset number of like categories basically that your model can predict. Regression is like a continuous value prediction. So hot dog versus not hot dog would be classification. Regression would be like if I was predicting how much what somebody's salary is based on like, you know, some other areas or some other factors about their life. Validation set, test set. Validation set is the set you use to train to test your model training. It's a part of the training loop. So you train on the training data and then you evaluate against the validation data, and you keep doing that until you get ideally, you know, as optimal of a model as you can. And then once you've done all of that, then you can use the test set to see if your model is really as accurate as it seems. And you have those different sets, or I don't know what to call them, like, because they're both test sets technically, but you have the validation set and the test set. The validation set is more obvious, I think, but the reason why you want the test set is because just like the training data, the validation data actually gets to see the model gets to see the validation data multiple times, so that can lead to overfitting and things like that, and even tweaking the parameters and things in between trying to improve your model. That also contributes to overfitting. So the test set is data that the model literally has never seen before, just to really see if your accuracy on your model is on point for unseen data. That's my explanation. What will fast AI do if you don't provide a validation set? Did I write this? I feel like fast AI is going to automatically take 20% of the data set for validation. Can we always use a random sample for a validation set? It's not always best to use a random sample for validation because not all data, it doesn't suit all use cases. So the examples we saw was time series data. With time series data, if you just take a random sampling of all the data, you still essentially can see the structure of or the trends in the data. But if you take a validation set that just is a continuous sequence of data points, that would be a better way to show that your model is actually able to predict. Like in time series, you're showing that the model can actually predict future trends in the data. What is overfitting? Yeah, overfitting is when your model is tuned too closely to the actual data set, and the downside to that would be models are made to be used on data that hasn't been seen before. So when you overfit to a model, when you overfit your data, it actually won't work very well. It'll be like high accuracy on training, but low accuracy on test set, for example. Like they showed the computer vision training where you're looking at like trying to predict how like drivers like a person's driving behavior, and if it's overfit, for example, then maybe the model is too specific to the actual people that were used in the training data set and doesn't work well for people who obviously were not a part of the training data set. What is a metric and how does it differ from loss? Oh, metric is a function that measures the quality of the model predictions, and it uses the validation set. How is it different from loss? I'm not sure I'm not sure I really dug into what specifically counts for how they define loss, but with the metrics, there's specific metrics like the error rate. So the error rate is a percentage of correct inferences. Whereas loss would be more so the difference between like the model prediction versus the actual value. How can pre-trained models help? They reduce the amount of data that you need to train on and the amount of time that you need to train. And they can serve as a base for some data that you're interested in. I feel like this got louder. I love the music, but I feel like it got kind of loud randomly. What is the head of a model? I wrote the head of, and then I didn't finish it. But I think the head was like basically the I would count it as like the more recent layer. And when it's a pre-trained model, you're taking advantage of the previous layers, and then you're kind of fine tuning from there. So the head would be the point at which you start your fine tuning, where your fine tuning layers um, come in with the pre-trained layers. I think it's just that one song was loud. What kind of features? Almost done. What kind of features do the early layers of a CNN find? Um, Maybe like earlier layers would find like corners and stuff, versus later layers would be able to find specific objects, like finding a corner versus finding an eyeball in a picture. Are image models only useful for photos? Absolutely not. I think this is the biggest takeaway I have, as far as like the one area that expanded my thought process the most out of this chapter. The idea of using um, image models for other types of data, and thinking about transforming data to some type of visual in order to apply image models. Trying to see if I wrote a good definition for architecture. I need to write me a good recap on architecture. And then segmentation was, this is like how the model design though. Segmentation was breaking up, like for computer vision, being able to break up and identify parts of the image. The Y range, what is Y range used for? Y range was it was used with tabular data, I think. With Y range, you could determine if you have tabular data, then that means you have different categories of data, for like different columns for each data, each piece of data, I guess you could say. And then Y range would be a trying to predict one specific category based on some others. So the Y range would literally be that category. I think that's how that was used, but that's fast AI. That's a fast AI question. It was with tabular data for sure. I don't think I wrote that one down because I didn't write down I didn't write down code examples for that portion, but I'm pretty sure that's what that one was for. And then the hyperparameters are, it's like parameters for the parameters. So it's how we tweak more of the overall training parameters versus the model specific parameters. And then the best way to avoid failures when using AI in an organization. I think the biggest thing that they recommended was to prioritize having not just your training data, but your validation and test data, and keeping those, using those appropriately. All right. So I finished chapter 1. Yay! I need like a round of applause, sound clip or something like that. But I feel really good about that because it's kind of been dragging now. It's a few days later than I wanted to, but at the same time, I think that's okay. But I'm happy to be at this point where, okay, I've done all of that. So tomorrow, my next step will be pretty much going straight into let's get back to is GitHub where I want to be? Probably not. So I basically have done all of the reading, the video lessons, and looked at all of the different examples from the first chapter of the book and lesson 1 of the Fast AI course. So yeah, my next foray will be into working with Hugging Face Spaces and Gradio. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to start with this video tomorrow and probably do some setup tomorrow, and then we can see from there if before I do the reading I can start to play around with it, or if I have to really kind of dig into the book, the chapter 2 of the book, in order to get everything set up. So I'll play it by ear. Once I finish my video lesson, then I can determine whether I could go ahead and start some of those examples that I talked about, or whether I want to wait until after I finish with the entire chapter 2. So one way or another, in the midst of or right after chapter 2, I'll work on some projects. And then we'll get into neural net foundations. So I'm excited. Yay, yay, yay. NLP is down here, chapter 4. So I want to think about that when it comes to how I plan out my projects. And then, of course, even though I talked about my smaller projects right now from based off of chapter 1, I have my labs, my mini project, and my bigger project. My law I need another name for it, but my final project, I guess you could say, would be my stream partner. So that's gonna require me to do a lot more than just some of these individual use cases, and it is more of an NLP, mostly, I would say, at this point. So I will go ahead and wrap it up there. I really appreciate all the help and support, and thank you for all the resources too, especially Preacher. So I'm going to be in Discord, but for now, I'm going to call it a night, and I will see y'all tomorrow.